Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new web show called Nick and Sergio's Fun Watchlist. I'm Nick.
I'm Sergio.
And we are married to each other. We did it.
Yay.
And part of being married is making the person you're married to watch things that either they don't like or they didn't know they liked. So I think we're going to go on a journey where I force Sergio to watch all the American movies that I grew up with. And
I'll make him watch Mexican drag.
I know, but the thing is, I was watching Draga before.
I think before we jump into this is a show that we actually connected with. We knew about it separately. Then when we met, we realized that we both liked it. And so our relationship grew.
Yeah. And I think before season 4, we kind of agreed season 2 was the best. But wow, season 4, they really upped their game.
Yeah, definitely season 2 of this show, which is called
La Más Draga.
They're on their current 5th season right now, and we started watching season 4. I started watching on my own at the end of season 2. That's kind of where...
That's when I started too.
You started trending?
No, I started beginning of season 2 because someone told me about it on the street. You gotta listen to people on the street. They'll give you good show recommendations.
I'll say yes to candy on the street.
So season 5 is very exciting for English-speaking viewers like myself because it's the first one they're debuting with English subtitles, which is very helpful for me.
Yeah, I do have to say that previously when I watched on YouTube, I usually have subtitles on, and I would be hearing it and then reading the subtitles and being like, this makes absolutely no sense. Like all of the dynamics, everything that has to be like referential to Mexico or any of the more inside jokes, nothing really was translated correctly. It was just the automated subtitles. So it's great that they're being inclusive this year, especially with some of the contestants that we will be talking about
for Americans. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's just get right into the episode because there's a lot to talk about. It's a very exciting premiere. Right off the bat, we have sort of weird...
So
wavy.
I think one of the things we do need to talk about is the fact that this show is inspired by Drag Race, but they tend to want to do a lot of things that do not make it feel like Drag Race.
They want to differentiate.
They want to differentiate themselves. But I would say that for this season, like this first episode, if you're watching it, literally this is Drag Race 101. Everything from the mini challenge to the runway.
It's season 5. Season 5 opening challenge photo shoot. It's identical.
I mean, the fact that they did that, okay.
But speaking of the whole water aspect, what's going on with the Ola, the 5th Ola? All of a sudden we're calling this season... They were called temperadas before, right?
Yeah, so every time there's been a new season, they call them just... first, second, third, fourth season. But somehow at the beginning of this show does auditions that are streamed a few months ago. You could buy a ticket and you could see it. And then basically somehow they started calling it the 5th wave. I have no idea what that means. I'm sure it means something in Mexico. I just don't know.
Do you think that it's like a hint at what's to come? Like the chocolate bar? Like, is there going to be a wave? Is there going to be water involved?
I think that the 5th wave is sort of represented in the first challenge, which is sort of like, are they doing Drag Race season 5 on their 5th season? Or are they doing more of a wave, 5th wave?
I mean,
I don't know.
Happens to be the same thing in this case.
Yeah. Let's just jump right into...
Let's get into these
people.
So at the beginning of La Más Draga, we have... I didn't realize they called them the worms.
Yeah.
But they have these sort of...
They've always been black,
cylinders.
And I think the fact that they're pink now, it makes a big difference because now they do look like worms.
Do you think that they're pink worms because you're like fishing in the ocean with the worms?
I'm sure.
And it's a wave?
That's a lot to process, but I believe that.
So they all sort of drop the worms at the same time and they reveal each other out of drag.
Yes.
A lot of these people have worked together in Mexico already, so a lot of them are recognizing each other. Do we have any favorites right off the bat?
Yes. So there are a few favorites that during the auditions, they were automatically voted by the fans. So if you buy a ticket, you can vote for one person and then production picks the second person. But then for this audition, it was just so much more viewership that they picked a third person that the viewers voted for. And so right off the bat, we have the Sales Fab, fan favorite. She is the daughter of Georgiana, which is like a
Who
very
we met,
iconic.
which was
Yes,
what a
season
dream.
4.
We'll insert the photo. We met Georgiana and Morlisa at DragCon. It was very neat.
This is our DragCon photo with Mora and Georgiana. But right off the bat, this was fab. Very
Yes.
linked with Georgiana, so people are expecting a lot of good confessionals and just overall exciting personality. The second one is Liza and Susie.
Oh,
which,
she was so funny.
Yes, she has already been very well established in Mexico City. She does a lot of
Drag?
she does a lot of interviews with girls from La Más Draga. Like during season 4, she would have like more or less like an official Pepe y Teo like on their YouTube channel. She would have the eliminated queens come to her talk show.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so every week she would release new interviews with these girls. And then I would say that the third one would be Fifi, only because she was the one who killed the audition.
Yeah.
So people are expecting a lot from her. She gave a lot of performance, so we now know she can perform, but we'll just watch and see if she can deliver more than that. And then the fourth one, I'm just jumping into another one really quickly. Santa Lucia, and that girl was the Toma de mi Denelita. She did a Lady Gaga video with a lot of drag queens, and it was filmed like in a set.
Oh my god, that was so
the
impressive.
video was very impressive. I instantly fell in love with her, and I couldn't believe it. So
For me, going into it, I'm excited for Hidden Mistake, Seifer's daughter, who is luckily joining us this season.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Seifer and her whole house is very like fantasy, anime inspired, lots of colors.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that. And also, I have to admit, Greta White, who you had introduced me to at some point, because she had a really fabulous audition video. She is someone I've followed for a little bit. I really like her. She didn't wow me on this first episode, so maybe she's gonna build.
I mean, she came in as being the fashion queen.
Yeah.
Like, her audition for this season was impeccable. Like, it was the best audition from all of those girls.
It was gorgeous.
And during the auditions, I don't think she really came through for me, but she was selected for this. I mean, how can you not? She is beautiful.
Yes,
and
gorgeous.
she does have incredible outfits, just based on the audition and the first episode.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm expecting a lot from her, and I mean, she's beautiful.
She's very cute. She's like, as far as out of drag crushes goes, I think she's my number one this season. So Greta, hit us up if you're in LA.
Yeah.
So then we get to meet two more queens. They were sort of reserved because they didn't have to go through the audition process. Is that correct?
So typically for La Más Draga, even before it's announced, usually the show's announced just by the judges, because during episode 1, there's always secret contestants that they bring into the show. And so you can see them when everyone drops their little worm. There are 2 that are left. And so in this instance, we find out that we have Light King.
And from Colombia, really like her vibe right away. People seem a little intimidated by her because she didn't have to go through the process. We meet Light King, very interesting, and then the final worm drops. And this is kind of the gaggiest gag of the first part of the episode.
So, fun fact, if you've been watching this series, we've already had twins, or not twins.
They weren't
but a
twins.
Duo.
They were boyfriends.
They were the rabbit duo. I don't know if they were boyfriends or not.
I think they were fucking.
I think
seemed like
they could have been fucking, but I don't know if they were boyfriends or not. So we had them in season 2. During the auditions for this season, we also had another 2 duos. And none of them made it.
Right, because there was the one that was like a voodoo doll and the voodoo doll master.
Yes. And then we had the 2 sisters.
And they would do kind of twin looks as well, even though they were not twins.
They were not twins.
But now we have identical twins who
are from San Diego. So we have our first American contestants in this show, which we'll see how it goes. I do have to say this show has been very reserved by girls speaking in English. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they have 2 American girls from San Diego, California, is very impressive, because right away, as soon as they go into their confessionals, they are speaking English, like Spanglish.
Oh, they're Spanglishing it up for sure.
Yeah, and they don't let girls do that. Like in the previous seasons.
And even don't they cut to Huma or someone being like, no English.
Yeah. So, like, that's the joke of the show, of like the girls saying like, we can't speak English, so like all those English isms, like they have to replace with like saying stand up in Mexico. Whenever people do stand up, they say stand up, but for the show, they have to say comedia de pie or something like that. Pie
like
de
on your feet.
comedia. Yeah, like on your feet. So it's exciting to see that they're allowing it. And also, this is the first season where 50% of the contestants are actually from international or
Oh, that's great.
they're actually from other countries.
Well, we just watched Canada's Drag Race, which was a lot of immigrants, and I think that's what made it so strong, was having like all those different perspectives. So.
Yeah, so it's exciting to see that, you know, we have a lot of countries that are being represented. It is interesting because the show is mostly surrounded by Mexican, like every challenge.
Well, even Johnny Carmona
symbols.
comes in and he says, at the core, this is still a celebration of Mexican art form.
Yeah. And then, but right away, so we'll just jump right into the mini challenge because there's so much that we need to talk about.
Okay. So yeah, Johnny Carmona comes in and he says that the main challenge will be la más artesanal. Is that right? And it's like folk art?
It's like folk art.
That's the translation they gave us.
I mean, that's the translation they gave, but I feel like it would be artisanal.
I mean, that's the one-to-one cognate there.
Yeah, so I think they just say folk art and it's just to reference Mexican specifically. So
yes, but before we get into the mini challenge, let's talk about who introduces the mini challenge. We no longer have Pepe and Teo, which is very sad because they were very fun hosts. But we do have the amazing Rogelio Suarez. And he's awesome.
Give it up for Rogelio.
I like Rogelio so far.
Yeah, no, I think he's very sporadic, but I think he's very fun.
And he tells them that the mini challenge is La Mas. Can you say the name of this animal for me?
Can I see where it's written? Acholot.
They said it like 5 times on the episode. Why don't we remember? Okay, so we both don't know. Ajolote, that's it.
Yes.
La Mas ajolote. And the only reason I know anything about the ajolote, which I just learned how to pronounce, is because it looks not like one, but 2 Pokemon. Wooper and Mudkip.
Yes.
So, Pokemaniacs.
Which they might be inspired by the ajolote.
No, they totally were.
Yeah,
it's documented. And then we meet the photographer. He's a Costa Rican guy named Pablo Solano.
Yes.
And he has a lot of, he has a sort of aggressive wave of hair that I found very artistic.
He's also, fun fact, the photographer of a lot of Letal's Instagram post. So if you follow one of the judges, which we'll meet later in the episode, Letal, he photographs a lot of her.
Yeah. So most of the girls go with the pink look for the ajolote, but some people take it a little less literally. But I was just very excited to see this much pink. All these girls in their chunky day drag with these little like ajolote faces on their dresses. Very cute.
I was just excited that they made him get into all that drag and then just put him into water. Like that was spectacular. It's very fun.
So they open up these bags that they opened up earlier. There was bags under their seats or whatever. And they open the bag, and all it is it's a number telling them when they have to go into the water tank.
I feel like they could have cut that out. That was not necessary.
It was so pointless because you could have just said, hey, you. You could have said alphabetical. You could have said by age. It's arbitrary.
I mean, the entire mini challenge was arbitrary. Okay, let me say something right out the way. I do not like the fact that the first 3 queens had half full water, and then the rest have full tanks.
God. Can you imagine that PA who was like, well, 30 minutes till the mini challenge, time to start filling up the enormous 500-gallon tank.
Yeah.
And you still see the hose filling it up.
I know. And
it also seemed like it was dangerous for them to get in it when it wasn't all the way full.
Oh, yeah, like they were throwing themselves into shallow water, meaning they were hitting the floor.
Well, it was very funny because they had the ladder to get up, but then they didn't have it to get down.
Except for one girl.
Deseos Fab fell in really hard, and then Greta, who went in after her, they were like, you can have a ladder.
And that's why they added this there. Also, this is backstory. I'm telling you too much here, but actually, the mini challenge was split in 2 days. And so the very first 3 girls, yes. So if you already saw the episode, the outcome of the challenge is one of them was meant to get 3 additional stars to their record. So they points. They basically get points per the episode, and the person with the most points wins. Yeah, and if you see the end of the mini challenge, no one wins, or everyone wins, so no one gets the 3 points.
Well, Rogelio tells Light King.
Yes.
Was it Light King
yes.
or yeah?
Who was the very last person?
The very last person to go tell your friends that
Yeah.
everybody wins, so no one gets any stars.
And it was because it was filmed the day after. So the girls...
So they thought it would be more fair.
Yeah, and the reason why the first 3 girls have half water is because they damaged their costumes. So, like, they couldn't refilm that again. The first
Did
3
they
girls
just
have
realize
half
that
water.
it wasn't going to fill up on time and send everybody home?
No idea. I think they're running out of time probably, and they're like, we just can't film it anymore. Yes.
No one's
All the
really...
good ones went first, and it was a little bit disappointing because I don't know that you can do a lot with half full water in a tank where it could be full.
Because Greta's good at Dragon.
Because if we see like the twins, as soon as they get in and the water is full, stunning, like beautiful mugs, beautiful, like even their outfits, like embody them. It's just, amazing.
Okay.
And so like everyone after that was gorgeous.
Yes.
Like literally everyone looked fucking amazing. Except we are gonna post the photos right here.
Yes.
Because we do want you to see how edited they are.
Some of them look like sort of spooky Harlequin, like China dolls, maybe.
Yes. they're like oversaturated, and they're like that filter on their faces. It just, wow.
My favorite is Aisha Kills. Because we're inevitably have to compare this to season 5, episode 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
She was giving me the Lanesha energy of just like, oh, I'm very effortlessly moving and posing just as though I would if I were not.
She was
underwater.
the only one who was sinking with style.
Yes.
The other girls were floating, and the trick is you have to let go of your air, and then you'll last a little less, but you'll actually sink. And that's when the best photos comes, and that's what she did.
Are you a good swimmer?
I'm a horrible swimmer. But I used to do that when I was...
But that won't stop him from telling you the correct way to do it. Believe me.
I used to do that when I was a kid, and I learned that if I want... You know, like, I would have these games with my friends where, like, we would go under the water and we'll sit down, or we pretend like we're working sitting down. And the way you do it, you have to let go of your air in order to sink, and you're able to, like...
That's so sad that you were little kids and you could do anything in the world, and you pretended you were typing.
Capitalism, darling.
Well, I think we do have to talk about the Drag Race Mexico elephant in the room.
Yeah.
But actually, the perfect time to do it is right now as we're going into the main runway.
Yes.
Because we're going to meet our panel of judges. And there's been some changes this year.
There's been a lot of changes with hosts and judges.
I wonder where Ricky Lips could be.
So Ricky Lips was a previous judge on last season.
Very fun, very charismatic.
Very fun. Yeah, she's one of the most iconic, known, like, drag queens of Mexico. Been heavily rumored to be the host of Drag Race Mexico. 2 new hosts. No.
There's one. Well, I mean, are we talking about Rogelio as well?
Yeah,
because
like,
then,
he
I guess
is
there's
the
2 new
host.
hosts.
Yeah, so there's 2 new hosts. There's 2 new judges.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And 10 new queens.
Yeah, and so many queens. So we're all going to learn together, and we're all going to learn their names together. And so the name of this judge is... and your name is?
Jinx. So we're talking about the new host first. That's who we'll talk about.
Yes.
La Mas Draga, for whatever reason, it sort of seems like it was an accident, but then they decided to just keep doing it.
So I think during season 1, they had an iconic...
She was so good.
Amazing host, and she was... Or she is a big celebrity. You know, she is a big famous
Is she? Would
singer.
you say she's more famous than the people have hosted after her?
Oh, yeah, by far. I think after she basically said no because she had work, and so they had someone for 2nd season, which was amazing.
She was really
Vanessa.
good.
Like, she was incredible. And then we had season 3, which she was okay. She is famous because she was in a band from the 90s called Jeans.
So this new host that we have this year, after Roberto Carlo in season 4, it's this person named Maca Carriedo.
Yes. So Maca is part of this YouTube series with Adela Micha. She is one of the most famous reporters in Mexico.
She gives me a reporter vibe.
So she's been already getting a lot of, backlash a little bit.
Why? I liked her.
Just because people are saying that she's hosting a newscast. You know, like she's...
Okay. Here's the thing. I don't want to go out on a limb here, but I'm looking at this host, and she does appear to maybe be a lesbian. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, she is.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't want to assume. She might be a lesbian. And if I know one thing about lesbians, they get shit done, and they get it done efficiently, and they will do a great fucking job. So if you're out there telling Maca she's not doing a good job, hey, I'm sorry, she's not faggy like Roberto Carlo. She's doing her own thing, and I like it.
Well, I'm not generalizing lesbians, so
I
I'm just
am generalizing
going off
lesbians.
with what people are saying online, and people are just thinking that she's presenting like she's in a newscast, and that's totally valid.
It's her job.
That's her job,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that she'll shaking up a little bit, and then
She will
she'll be
loosen
great.
up for sure in the later episodes, but already where she's at, I thought that her kind of less presentational comedy was good because she was bouncing off of people who were very larger than life. Yes. And I loved her outfit. I do want to say that.
Yes.
So speaking of the judge who you've never heard of before, I don't know her last name because I didn't write it down. But her first name is Raquel, and she's very pretty.
She's very pretty. She had great things to say during
She was a good
judging.
good
so,
judge,
you know,
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her.
Yeah, very pretty hair. I like her outfit. Yari Mejia is next.
Yeah,
I think
iconic.
everyone's favorite.
Yeah, see, she's been a judge since season 1.
She's usually the singer on the best of the La Mas Draga songs.
Yes, every season the host, which would be Maka in this case, she would do a song for the season, and then Yuri also does her own song. So will be
Yari?
Oh, Yari. Yuri la menos. Yuri la menos. Yuri la menos. This is a guest that was in last season who is very homophobic.
Yes, is she an actress or was she a singer?
She's a singer.
Yeah.
From like the 80s.
And who called her out? Was it Georgie? She like called her out without calling her out?
It was Alexa Fox.
Lexa Fox. Fucking love
Or
her.
Lexa, sorry. Alexa. I heard
It's Lexa. Yeah.
Lexa Fox.
No, someone's not a very big Lexa fan. Lexa, I'm
Do
a
you watch
huge
the
fan
show?
of you. Lexa, I'm a huge fan of you. My partner clearly has never heard of you. Yari's great. We love Yari. And then we meet Letal, who started out as kind of a non-judge in season 1.
She was at like what Venenos are now. She was a guarding
Watching from the
demon
side
of the altar.
Yeah.
But then like after episode 3 or 2 from season 1.
Was it in season 1 or 2?
Yeah, it was in season 1. She became a judge. Or she was sitting between the judges.
She like brought a stool over. It was a big moment.
Yeah, it was a big moment.
Tonight she's dressed like a devil.
She is.
I love her big hair and her big eyelashes.
Oh, she's serving.
Yeah, she looks good today.
Yeah, she looks great.
Roberto Carlo, last season's host, enters, and he is returning to be the guest judge for episode 1.
He'll be the guest judge.
He looks
handing
great.
the baton.
He got a fade. He's got a cool jacket.
He finally got a haircut, which looks different.
You didn't like his hair before?
It was just very like too much gel. Like
He was a gel boy. He had a lot of gel.
I mean, nothing wrong.
You don't want to alienate the people watching right now who have gel.
That's why I said nothing wrong with gel.
Maka introduces the main challenge, La Mas Artesanal, and we get into these runways, and ooh boy.
Let's talk about that. When I say now that I am repping this girl, I'm serving you a little piñata.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling my Peque Valderas fantasy.
Peque.
Yes.
That's who was first.
So Peque Valderas was dressed as a piñata, and she was actually wearing Avies Who.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I mean, she finished that garment.
I know. She finished it on time, as Avies Who posted on her Instagram saying it was finished on time.
Now that you say that, that makes sense with the points where they
very
are.
pointy,
It looks like an
yes,
Aviesque.
It looks
look.
like an Aviesque outfit. Also, Peque Valderas is best friends with Turbulence drag queen
Love
and
Turbulence.
Burrita Burrona.
Shout out to Turbulence and Burrita.
Yeah, so they're actually part of the outfit. Peque just covered them, so you can't really see them, but they're part of.
Wait,
her
they're on
outfit.
the like jumpsuit part of it.
Yeah, they're on the jumpsuit part of it because that's meant to represent newspaper. Because you know,
Yeah, on the
apply
inside,
newspaper. Yeah, so they're actually somewhere in the outfit. We just can't see them.
It gave me a little like kind of Technicolor circus, and you know me, I really don't normally like a circus aesthetic, but this concept was just so strong, I couldn't help but love it.
I mean, I feel like she had so much presence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she is a host, first and most
Oh,
of all.
for, like,
She
a
likes to
live
host
show.
kids' birthday parties. She's like,
that
that's
her
what she
thing?
does. Yeah,
Oh, that's cute.
So in Mexico, like drag queens are invited to different parties and like actual like house parties, and so they're hired, and so she has a career in that. So
Oh wow.
when she walked in, she was very comfortable, very like free on the runway. It was great. I loved her.
Yeah, she was great. They had the Veneno hit her with the stick so that the candy would come out of her. Very funny. And this is just such a universal concept. Like everyone's hit a
Yeah.
pinata before,
Yeah.
so as long as we're saying pros and cons, the one little critique I have of this outfit is when the reveal happens and it was the newspaper. I liked the newspaper. I wasn't a big fan of the like gold cage that was on top of her.
Oh,
And I wasn't sure how that related to pinata.
Well, it was meant to be the frame.
The wire framing.
Yeah, the wire framing, but I don't think
It should have looked like chicken
it
wire
looked
then.
chunky. Yeah, I agree with you. It was not good, but still overall great.
Still such a great presentation. And that's what I do like about La Mas Draga's runways is they allow you to use the Veneno boys. They allow you to use props. They have the turntable, which helped a lot in a couple of these.
I mean, I do
runways.
have like we do have to say that we always try and compare it with Drag Race, but I think in this case, like the runways for La Mas Draga are a different purpose.
They
like
feel very
this
different,
is more for you to showcase who you are through performance. So they actually want to see you perform, and they give you all these tools that you can use by using the boys, the Venenos.
They'll give you a mic if you want it.
Yeah,
you can
they'll
talk,
give you a
you
mic.
Can
you can sing, you can dance, you can cry, you can fall, which we'll talk about. But
Plenty of
you
that
can
this
do
week.
whatever you want.
Hidden Mistake comes out next, and this is a Talavera bowl. Is that the type of painting on the bowl? I've seen the bowl, but I've never heard that word before.
Yeah, so I think everyone has seen this type of work.
Very beautiful,
Very
blue,
beautiful, like
blue and white.
Yes, like blue appliques on white ceramic. She was good. I feel like she was reserved.
People said she looked nervous, but I was
looked a little. I think, and it's not because of her size, but she looked a little small in terms of the stage. Like it felt like she wasn't fully there. I think she can get there. I just don't think she was fully mentally there.
I mean, multiple people are saying it, so I'm inclined to believe it. For me, I was so just in love with the garment that I didn't notice any confidence issues. So, girl, keep it up. I'm already a fan. I think you'll win everyone else over.
Yes.
Even though Sergio hates you.
I do not hate.
Greta White is next. And this is sort of what I was talking about because I was already a fan. I have high expectations of her.
Yes.
This was a little bit of a simple garment, right?
Very underwhelming. That's my word.
Yeah. What art piece is this sort of based around? I didn't even catch that.
I did not understand it. I felt like it was more of a gold applique, like like
that you would put onto a garment.
Yeah, you would create, or maybe like a gold chain. I feel like I didn't quite get what she was trying to do. Maybe it is a Colombian gold artisanal thing that she's doing. I feel like she was not really there for me.
Yeah, and I think she will get there because we have seen her do really awesome things already. Next up we have the twins. We should say their names at least once. Isabella and Catalina?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So
Isabella
the San
and
Diego
Catalina.
Queens.
Okay, I want to say the good thing first. And the good thing is
There good things to
yes,
say? Okay.
yes. I think there's one good thing, and that's the very beginning of this reveal when the doors open. I was like, oh, that is arresting. The pose was great. When you couldn't see all
They
the details.
synchronized.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was really great. But once they sort of stepped into the light, some of the details were showing. And I didn't really like the sort of silver, like, shiny sweater they were wearing. I thought it cheapened
Made no
the dress.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that dress just out on the street. Like, not that it's a common thing to see on the street, but it feels like compared to the rest, it was a little bit understated. And also the fact maybe it's because there's two, so they have to do two outfits and two fittings.
One thing that was interesting to me is I was looking at the screenshots that I took, and the dresses aren't 100% the same. Like one of them has like kind of an off the shoulder strap. One of them has kind of more peplums at the waist. So I appreciate these little differences.
But they're small differences.
They're a little too small.
That you don't notice right away.
For me, I would rather them be the exact same garment or be like so different.
So different.
Like different silhouette, different.
And I think it's just the
pattern.
Like the silhouette was beautiful.
They looked really lovely.
The execution with the fabric and with the beaded
the makeup wasn't working.
Was so simple.
Yeah.
They're relying on pretty.
Yeah, I think they are. But I hope they can kind of do a better version of this twin thing that they do because sometimes it's very cool to see people do matching garments, and I think they could maybe bring
I think
that
they're
to
gonna flourish in the competition.
Next up, we have Santa Lucia, and okay,
Sorry,
the dress was bad.
Like that's if she had not that had.
But that was the thing. But if she was it like a snake or a dragon?
Like it would have not. It would have. If you remove the dragon from that outfit, that dress is like Party City. I'm doing drag for the first time.
It was like I want to make a Jessica Rabbit dress without actually sewing anything. I just want to drape
one
it on
thing
myself.
that I wish that these girls would know is that if you do this line for TV, it does not work.
Yeah,
it works
it's good
for a club where it's pitch black and like, you know, you are able to just make that disappear, but on camera it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't mind it as much with color because the fact that it matched her garment was kind of nice. Yeah. But I will defend Santa Lucia a little bit. I thought the prop was so meticulously made. All of the details were great. I mean, that thing Yari even commented that like it got snagged on something and didn't fall apart. And I think we all know drag props are made to fall apart immediately when you're done with them. So the fact that it was well made, I would like to see that ingenuity put into the garment next time as well.
Yes.
But I think overall it was a good presentation.
I was expecting a lot from her, and
because you're already a fan.
I was already a fan, and I am a little bit on the edge of how I feel. So, but can't wait for next week.
I can't wait to see these girls do more stuff. I'm very excited for this season. Next up, we have we talked about this one. We have Light King.
Yes.
And this was one of the best looks, right?
So
we can agree.
Here is what I have to say: is I love this outfit. I think this outfit would have won if and only if she would have had more presence. Like it felt like she was not nervous, but she was not confident on what she was selling. And she was also just came out and like went back in. Like she didn't even perform. She didn't even try to emulate any type of energy or
what piece of folk art is this referencing? It's the little beads?
Yeah, so it's a little melty beads, which is why if you zoom into this outfit, it's made out of
meticulous.
Beads. It's like,
it is very well made.
You know, this took hours to make.
Days, babe.
Yeah,
forever.
This took so long, and it's literally the most beautiful outfit on this runway. I think she could have easily won.
Give us a little more bad bitch on the runway, and I think you can win
I think we
season,
needed
girl.
that, yeah.
Next up, we have Deseos Fab. First of all, I want to say she looks great.
I mean...
Second of all, I need to ask you, can you explain to me... Because I thought she was a cake, but then it seemed like she was a table with, like, ceramic pieces on it.
Yes.
And then she fell on the table, and the table looked more like a cake because it squished like it was a cake. So was it a table or a cake?
It's interesting because when she first came out, I also thought she was a cake. But
because there was a slice out of it.
Yes, because quickly I realized, though, she was doing...
some kind of pitcher?
Jarrones, I believe is the word. Like, she was doing this, you know, ceramic vases. And I think she was doing a little, like, mix of an altar, which, you know, it's like a step surface where you place those with food, water, milk, whatever it is that your loved one like to eat. And then when she came out of it, she was a little cup.
Which is cute. That garment was very cute.
But then as a little cup, she started serving the boys drinks. And so I think she did a lot, and she could have reeled back a little.
I think she overthought this one.
She overthought this, but she looks stunning.
She looks stunning the whole time.
So beautiful. Like that face and like the hair.
Yeah, I think what confused me was the top had kind of a icing looking to it, but maybe that was supposed to be like the glaze of the ceramic.
Yes, I think it was meant to be the glaze.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a great look.
I mean, overall stunning. She looks amazing.
And even the judges commented that of the two people who fell on the runway today, she kind of hit it better. So
I mean,
good for you.
She hit it really well.
Yes. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna fall all the way on the floor and pick up this pot.
This. Yeah. No, it was incredible.
Next up, we have Fiesta, and wow, what a garment!
What a garment!
Okay, you're gonna say it's too simple, but
no,
it's
not. That's not what I'm saying. It is incredibly well done.
Those shells could have looked so ugly.
Done by Shell in the way that the patterns of this. Okay,
Guillermo, are you in it? Are you in the show now?
Like, it was made out of seashells, and the patterning of it is stunning. My only comment is there's no depth to it, so it looks like on screen it just looks flat.
And that was my initial reaction when she came out, but the more I looked at it, I was like, This took so, like, one shell could have moved wrong and fucked up the whole thing. There was so much attention to detail, and it made me forgive the simple silhouette, which I think was the main crime of the garment.
I don't think it's a simple silhouette. I just think that it's just reading plain because it's white.
It's all white, yeah.
And there's no depth. Like if she
But
had,
can we talk
like,
about the
painted-
wig? Speaking of depth, let's talk about the wig. She had a hollow wig, and it was shaped like the shells that was making her dress.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever seen a hollow wig.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Aisha Doll Kills.
She had to borrow this outfit from Lupita Kush because
Oh, it kind of looks like a Lupita outfit.
the whole conversation about the designer, it was her. She was the one who didn't get her outfit in time.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so
because
this outfit makes no sense.
it's
for
not
this runway.
cute. I'll give a shout out. Like, there's cheap looking masks, and this was not a cheap looking mask.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't like anything where I can see like the line of the mask
Yes.
because it didn't seem like it was purposeful.
It was not good. Yeah, it did not fit the outfit below.
Yeah.
So when she did the reveal, like nothing made sense.
It didn't come together, but I'll give her a compliment. The makeup on her face was very nice.
Yeah,
And it was very
nice.
detailed. And I feel like she knew she maybe had to make up for how simple the garment was.
Yes.
Too bad, because we really like her. Oh, and then on top of having one of the weaker outfits, she beefed hard. She wiped the fuck out.
Oh, we cannot not talk about it.
We have to. Someone
my
falls on the first
God,
episode every year
yes.
because Electra fell last year, right?
She's the new Electra Vanda girl. Like,
Well, she'll be in the top 4 no matter
yeah.
what she does on the
I mean,
season.
she's gonna fall herself into the top 4.
Well, we love you, Aisha. I think that when you get to wear a garment that you actually like,
That actually fits you.
that fits you, and you actually like wanted to wear it. Clearly, this was a last minute thing, so we'll give you a pass on this one.
I do have to say, she would have been my winner for the mini challenge, so she would have not been in the bottom.
Yes. Before we move on to talk about the rest of the garments, I want to say, just based off what you said, I think the point system is more confusing than it's worth.
Oh, I don't know why they show us the
They show at the
results.
end
Like, it
of
makes
every
no
episode,
sense.
they show you all the points they earned, and it's just
But
like
it
a
not,
screen
it
full of
doesn't
stars.
make any sense if you start adding how they're judging. You're like, it doesn't make sense that this person has all these points and this person has all these points.
On other drag shows, they're doing this same math, and they're just not showing us the math.
We don't
And if
have
they
to
didn't,
see it.
if they didn't show us the math, we would just be like, okay, that's
And-
the
and I
person who's in
think-
the top. They did the best. Next up, we have Liza Sansusi, and
Yes.
I really liked this garment, but I did not get what it was referencing. Is she like a figurine?
I think she was a figurine. I think she
Yeah.
was a statue.
Because when she stood on the thing, it was like, oh, this is Universal. I don't have to know what
Yeah.
figurine you're being to
She
get
was
that
pulling
you're...
a Crown the Queen Jinx Monsoon outfit on All Star 7. She
The
came with
leopard?
the sword. The sword that you have at
Oh,
home.
Yeah. Ooh, I should bring that to next week's episode.
Yes.
I'll bring it. Yeah, I love this garment. They critiqued. She was in the top, but they critiqued maybe some of the
There was
draping
more
could
than
have been
makeup.
different.
I mean,
yeah.
I agree with them. She was a little bit too covered.
Yeah.
She was so close to winning. I think she was like 1 or 2 points away from winning.
It was a really lovely garment, and
Yeah.
she had a strong week. So
Yeah,
we
people
love
really
her.
wanted her to win online.
I just love her. She's
Yeah.
very, very fun. So we have Uma Kyle.
Macau.
And-
Who was dressed as the tequila bottle.
That's what that was.
I don't know what it was. I thought it was similar to Hit a Mistake, and it was just more on that. But then I was watching.
No,
it.
they said it. No, because Yari said there was 2 Talaveras, and I have to go
Yes.
with the better one.
I know, but if you literally will put it right here, but it's a tequila bottle that you buy, like the artisanal one. It's the same shape. That's why I couldn't get of the fact that her silhouette went down, like, and then down again, and it had like
Yeah.
a flare at the bottom. And then I was like, huh. And I was like, oh my God, it looks like the tequila bottle.
That must be what she was doing, because I was very
I mean,
confused.
I don't think that's what she was doing with that.
It
thing.
must be, because
I
what
mean,
else
it
was
must be.
What else was it?
I don't know.
I just any girls competing in a thing. I actually didn't dislike the garment. I want to say that first of all. I thought it was pretty. She just couldn't move in it.
She just couldn't move in it, and it just kept bobbling. Like this.
If you have to pick it up to walk in it, then you shouldn't wear it on the runway.
Yeah.
Or, and we learned in the lip sync, spoiler alert, that she lip syncs. We learned that she could have taken it off. How about do your little awkward shuffle, get to the front of the stage, take it off, be like, woo, look at me do flips, you know,
Yeah.
and then put it back on.
Yeah.
That could have been good.
And so we have in the bottom Uma Kyle and Aisha Doll Kills.
Yes, and it was almost the
Or
twins.
Dolls Kills.
Dolls
Dolls Kills? Listen, I speak English and I can't even say that word.
Aisha Dalskill.
Dalskill.
I'm sorry if we mispronounced your name, Aisha, but you're probably fine and getting laid a lot.
This lip sync, a little bit whatever. People were expecting this song to be part of the audition.
Yeah.
And it was not part of it. They did like a lip sync tournament.
Yeah, and it was all La Mas Draga songs.
Yeah, except for this song, and everyone was like, what happened? This is the best song.
This is the best one.
Of the entire franchise.
If you are just becoming a fan of La Mas Draga, go ahead and put Mexa on your just walking around playlist, because it will put a skip in your step. It's a great song.
It will. And so, the lip sync was okay. I think Aisha was definitely the clear winner.
Clearly, yes.
I wanted Uma. She was trying really hard, and at the very end, she does not win the lip sync. And we do have to acknowledge the fact that ever since season 1, no girl has been eliminated on the first episode.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
So this is the first season where they actually, that's why if you look at the elimination again, they actually have all, which is weird, which I think something is gonna happen, because they have all of the girls looking from the stage down into the altar at Uma getting her photo put on the altar, and that doesn't happen. Usually the girls are in the back by the time that she's filming like her altar video. So that's why I think that something is about to happen.
But we already know what happens, and don't you think that's part of it? Let's talk about the twist at the end of the episode.
Let's talk about it.
Because Uma, she goes and talks to the Venenos. She says her goodbyes. It's very sweet. Uma, by the way, your confessionals were everything. You are so funny.
I mean, she was...
Can't wait to follow you into the future.
Shaping up to be the...
narrator of the season. She was so funny.
She was the clear one.
We love you, Uma. I actually liked a bunch of your looks too. So I hope we see you on an All Stars or whatever.
They're on stage. They see Uma leave. They go back into the workroom. You see a coffin. Dun dun dun. Who's in the coffin? What is happening? Everyone's freaked out. These girls are stressed. Like, you can see it in their eyes. Like, this is unlike any other episode that
they're probably worried that it's Shangela.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally Shangela. Instead of a box, it was a coffin.
Yes.
Which does make sense with
it works with their aesthetic, because when you get eliminated, you die.
You put your photo on the altar. That means you've passed on.
Yes, and we will remember you when we look at the altar.
Yes, and then that's when the whoosh at the end of every episode, which did not happen this episode, which I think is why I know that something is gonna happen next episode.
You think she's gonna come back?
I don't know if she's gonna come back, but something will happen next episode.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is true. Every single other elimination has cut to the cast photo, and we watch them sort of turn into smoke.
Because the way that the thing that happened this episode was when they go back into the workroom, the coffin opens, and who comes out? In their eliminated outfit.
It was their eliminated outfit. I didn't even think of that.
Outfit. That is the outfit that they left on.
Paper cut. Yay! So, if you watch season 4 of La Mas Draga, you probably know that Paper Cut's elimination was one of the most controversial eliminations
of the entire season. Clear front runner. Then, well, not entire season, because they were not part of it, but like every episode they were in the top.
Such a distinct style.
Yes, very distinct,
very
unique,
interesting,
very creative. I think
good actor.
That was
can kind of do everything, but then got put in the bottom, and I think it was maybe set up for them to have a victorious moment.
I think that they wanted to put Paper Cut in the bottom just to prove to himself that he could do it and survive, but that did not happen.
We're very excited to see Paper Cut in the next episode, obviously.
And I mean, the episode cuts instantly. We see Paper Cut saying, "Hola, papelitos." I think that's what he says.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that's something that he would say.
So do you think, because you have these kind of conspiracy theories that you've spoken about already, do you think we're getting a previous eliminated girl at the end of each episode? Because that could be fun, because it was weird to start with only 10 girls. They normally start with like 14.
Weird. Yeah, so usually we started with a low number of girls. Yeah. We have 9 from the auditions. We have 2 that were in the warm. Then we have one last one that was Paper Cut.
Yes. That
is 12. But when they first showed the preview of the season, they had an Aztec symbol, which had all of the judges, and then in black had 15 14 spots.
Oh.
Yeah, so
So
14 or 15, no, 15 spots. It has 15 spots that are like white, like blackout, meaning that there's a potential that we'll get 3 extra queens in the next episode.
But they're not going to do them all at once. They'll piece them out.
I have no idea how they're going to do it.
And on that note, we'll just have to wait until next week to find out what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. This is Nick and Sergio's Fun Watch List. Sergio, what do you want to say at the end of every episode?
I just want to congratulate all these girls, and I'm so excited that they were able to make it into the show and that they're showing us their beautiful and creative minds.
And if we give you critiques, it's just because we have to talk about something, but we think you're all stunning.
Oh, yeah, don't...
We'll be friends with all of you.
I literally have no reason why I should be giving critiques. I just like doing it.
I'm glad I have it on camera.
I'm trying not to harm anyone with my critiques.
I think we were very fair.
Yeah, I think we're very fair. We're very honest.
I don't think anyone looked gutter bucket bad.
Oh, yeah, no.
Happy to say that. Everyone looked
We've
great.
had that in other seasons. This season, I think it was good.
I know who I'm thinking of. Thank you so much. Join us next week for La Mas Draga Season 5, Episode 2. And join us in the future for movies that Sergio does not want to watch.
Bye.